Okay, so finally one of Rascal's brothers has earned himself a name. And this is one of the rare instances where I name a mink before I actually hunt with him. I guess I shouldn't say rare. I do it from time to time. But basically, whenever I have a litter of mink or I get a new animal of any sort, really, I try to do my best to wait to give them a name until they show some type of personality traits that I can name them by. Honey Badger was the exception because she was born looking like a honey badger, like her coloration was. And so she got a name as a little baby. Other animals that I raise from a bottle obviously get names pretty early on because I need to call them something, and I'm daily interacting with them and calling them and such. So some animals get names a lot earlier than others, but those that I don't bottle raise and put a ton of time into them when they're really young, I'll often wait until I start working them a little bit so that I can give them a name that fits, their personality or their working style or something like that. Well, the other day I went out and got one of Rascal's brothers out. And this sucker came out just as calm and confident as you would expect from a grandson of Brock. But the difference was poor Tag got a little too close. And this mink run up and grabbed Tag by the leg and just hung on. Now, fortunately, Tag was nice and patient with him. She didn't just chomp down and kill the poor thing. A big dog like Tag could potentially kill a mink quite easily. They're tough animals. Mink are very tough, but they're not as tough as they think they are. And anyway, so poor Tag, we managed to get this mink off, and he really bit down and hung on. Side note, Tag's totally fine. She's a tough dog. It didn't really do much, but hurt her pride, And anyway, after I got Tag off, this sucker started coming after me. And I don't mean like casually. Like, this is straight up Washushe style attack on me. And fortunately, I had some real tall boots on, and so he couldn't get, he couldn't get my ankles or my shins or anything. But he's attacking my boot pretty hardcore. And then he, no joke, I really wish I had this on film. He climbed up me, and I had some big rubber gloves on. I don't know if you guys have seen those like kitchen gloves that you wash dishes with. I'll use those a lot of times when I'm feeding during the winter because my sleeves will get like dirty. They get blood and meat on them, and it's pretty gross. In the summer, I don't have to worry about it because I'm short sleeve shirt, but in the winter when I'm wearing a coat, it gets really gross. So I got these long basically dishwashing gloves on to keep my sleeves clean. And I was obviously feeding at the time, so I had these gloves on. This mink, no joke, when he realized he couldn't get me through my boots, he climbed straight up me and grabbed me. But just my luck, my gloves weren't just on like they were supposed to be. They were actually kind of like folded over. Like the sleeve part was folded over. So he grabbed the sleeve and just sliced it. It was this close to getting a hold of my skin, getting, a pretty nasty bite. And the rubber didn't protect me, of course. It was just that he happened to grab the loose part of the sleeve instead of my flesh. And he grabbed it, and I went, and I flung my hand to, pull my hand away as he bit me. Because I saw him coming up me. He climbed, like I said, he climbed up me, and I was like, whoa, and I was moving my hands to get him out of the way so he wouldn't bite my hand. But as I did that, he grabbed onto that glove, and I swung, trying to get my hands up, and he went flying across the yard, somersaulting through the air, and went bam and hit right on a plastic pipe. And he hit, and it stunned him, and he went stiff and just kind of laid on his back, and his leg kind of kicked. And oh my gosh, I started screaming, oh my gosh, I killed him, oh my gosh, I killed him. I was freaking out. I thought I'd like knocked his head or something. And then he got up and ran off and like nothing happened. But just the surprise, I guess, because really the pipe he hit was a soft, forgiving pipe, and it was light, so it moved when he hit it. It really shouldn't have hurt him at all. But the way he like laid there stunned and his leg was kind of twitching, I was terrified I just accidentally killed him, and I was like, oh no. But he got up and run around, and he'd come back and attack me. Like, he wasn't worried at all, you know. So it was scared me to death. I thought I'd hurt the poor guy. And I don't want to, you know, I felt horrible. I thought that I'd actually hurt him. And like I said, all I did was swing my hands up in an attempt to avoid being bitten. And he latched on as I was doing that and ended up flying through the air. But anyway, he's totally fine, though. Like I said, it was just a scare. And yeah, so I decided, oh man, I got to name this mink. Thing is a freaking vicious beast. Absolute vicious beast. So I ended up naming him Brute. I put up a new pedigree for Brute, so you'll be able to see. I mean, you guys all know he's Rascal's brother, so that means Crockett is his dad and Savage is his mom. But in case you want to see that, I'll put a link in the description below the video to see his pedigree. But yeah, super excited about Brute, man. I can't wait to get him on a muskrat.